Hey, you. Yes, you. Do you remember me? I'm Maxi from the Programming Challenges Telegram community. And today I invite you to start digging deep with Web++. Well, actually, we are first going to install it. But first of all, grab yourself a cup of coffee. We're going to have a lot of fun. So, I already cloned the library. It's in the Webcpp folder. You can just see everything. It has a mic file, so it's really easy to install. Just do make install. It's going to compile a bit. It's going to clone some files into your library folders, so you need root access. If you're not on Linux, by the way, like on Windows, you might want to look into the Linux subsystem for Windows. Alright, it's installed. Easy as pie. So when we want to include the library, we can just go Webcpp. We can just include it from the folder, and here we include the webcpp.hpp. Now let's start. First of all, we need to output something. In order to output something, we are going to create a document. A document is basically just like the HTML tags on top on the bottom of the page. So let's do that. Remember, everything is in the namespace WCP. Alright, created that. Now inside of the document, we need a body, for example. That body could contain some text, like I keep forgetting about this WCP. Right, and now if we wanted to test this, we could just see out this. So my document. Don't forget to include the IOStream library. Perfect. So now we can compile this. There are a few quirks though. Since we are using a library and we are linking code against the executable, we need to tell that to the compiler. So basically it's going to take the executable from the library and mash it together with our executable, and that's going to be the final executable. I just switched into the right folder. Sorry for the cut. The command for compiling is clang++, the compiler, the file, the output name file, and this is where I specify which executable library or which library's binary code I want to link against. Right, it worked. So let's execute the test file. Damn! Just printed out our first HTML project. The problem is, we don't have a header yet. Do you remember in the first episode we had at the top a little header? That header told the server and the client, especially, what type of file it was executing. So in my library, there's a way to do that too. It's called WCP HTTP header. So this header, by default, is linking, or is not linking. Linking is the wrong word. This HTTP header is telling the client that it's executing HTML code. By default. We could change that, but that's a bit advanced. Let's for now stick to a working example. Let's stay with the camel case conventions. Coding conventions are really important. So make that your habit. Right. And now when we compile and execute this, we see, damn, it's working. So in theory, no, it's not working. Why? Oh, of course, I forgot to make. I wrote myself a little make file that just does everything for me. Right. I'm sorry about that. It's bad preparation. Just like in school. Right. So we see a hello world. The nice thing about this library is that now we can think in components. So what if, for example, I wanted to make myself a factory for a special component. For example, let's create a function that generates a div that greets people. A div is just a container, so that's why it's called a container in the library. Let's include the string library. So for the record, I'm doing this in order to get the reference to a string. So that way it can be, no, I don't need this actually. I just need a reference to a string. It needs to be constant because that way I can make sure that the reference is never changed. So now I'm going to return a WCP container, which contains a text, which contains this text. The nice thing about this is that now I can just use this component and duplicate it a lot, and it's going to generate a lot of HTML code with this just this function. So I am Maxi. A great friend of mine is Boned007. I don't think that he agrees to having his name openly shown. So I just do this. Right, I can greet someone else. What about David? I have a great friend called David. Next name might be Lulz. He's another great friend of mine I met on Telegram. Right, and now let's just test this code. Damn, it's working. So you see, this is generating a component. At first it might look a bit silly, like why am I doing this? But remember, components might look ginormous. Later maybe we want to have a full video display with little buttons, and like on YouTube for example, the video cards on the side, they might be a component, and typing it out on your own might be a bit tedious. Alright, so again, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm sure that this gave you a lot of inspiration to work for yourself. And now I just want to see what you are going to do with this information. So please send me your code on Telegram. In the description I'm going to link to a few resources. I'm going to link to the library I'm using. And if you have any questions, just ask them on Telegram or on YouTube maybe. Alright then. If you want to subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends. It would really help me out, it would help them out, and I'm sure that they will like you a lot if you share them this content, because I really think that we are going to have a lot of fun. Have a nice day. Bye!